All right, now that our strips are combined, we are ready to go ahead and sew in our batting. So I want to talk to you real quick about the Clover tube maker. I am about to use this and I will show you how to do it. So it comes in, it looks like two pieces like this. The box says 4 pieces. So it actually, 2 of the pieces fit inside. You can see there's these little tabs. You just pop them up and the inner piece comes out. Same thing with on the other side. The inner piece comes out. So then the fabric is going to get folded and put in here. I'm going to flip you around so you can see what I'm doing. And before then, I'm also going to show you a little trick that I learned. So you can use a variety of stitches to stitch your rope together. I like to use the straight or the serpentine, but I've also found if I expand the width of each stitch, it's gonna make it go a lot quicker this is kind of the mundane part of making your rope. So I like to do the 5mm, which just makes each stitch a little bit longer and it just sews a lot quicker. Like I said, there's also a variety of stitches you could do. A serpentine looks beautiful. I'm gonna show you just a straight stitch today. Okay, so I have my strips of fabric and then my batting strips. You want the batting to go on the inside, and I like to secure it, and it also gives a nice fold at the top. So I'm gonna line them up so that it's on the inside. If you're using 2 1/4 inch batting, of course you're gonna have more of the fabric showing on the outside. And then I just fold over the top where the selvage is on this strip, and I'm just gonna sew just a basting line to keep it secure. Okay, now we are ready to attach our tube maker to our fabric to help it fold over. So the bigger piece goes on first and the smaller piece goes on second. So the first thing we're gonna do is give it a little fold to help it get started. So after it's folded, it's gonna end up being both sides into the center and then those edges together. Now you can iron all of this and not use the tube maker if you prefer, but this I feel like just makes it so much easier. So first I'm going to put the 2 corners into the center, and that is how it's going to go onto the first piece. Pull it through, hold it there, and then insert that second piece. Oh, let's see, my batting got folded. You want to make sure it's straight, no folded sides going in. So that's gonna give it the first fold. This piece is gonna give it the second fold. So I put it together through the first piece, and then same thing with this. It has this guide that is gonna fit kind of in this crease right here. So I kind of wiggle that in there, snap it into place, and that is gonna give it its fold as you go. So when I start, I give it a little bit. When I lay it down, making sure that these sides where the seams are together are even. A lot of people like to use, there's like magnetic guides you can attach on here, all kinds of things like that to make it easier. Let's see if my camera will focus on the right thing. And then I have my just straight stitch on, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do a straight stitch down the center. Some people like to put their seam, it is not focusing. Some people like to put their seam on the side, and you can do that as well. I don't necessarily find it easier myself when it comes to assembling the rug. I didn't notice a difference, but some people like that. It then kind of hides this seam when you sew it together. The zigzag kind of covers it, but I just like the straight or the serpentine stitch myself. You figure out what works best for you. And then I just continue to guide it. Once I have sewn up to the point where the tube maker is up near my needle, I'm just gonna pull it back down. So I make sure that my strips are lined up. I know you can't see my hand over here, but make sure they're lined up and then just pull that back. I do maybe a foot at a time. Pull that, make sure those are in. And then I kind of rotate my hands. I know you can't see my hands, but you can see how it's turning when I rotate my hands just to help that seam allowance or the folded sides line up. And then I also do guide it with my hand all the way back up. So now you can see kind of how my hand, I turn it like this to sew it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and I will see you back when I get to the end. Okay, if you're like me and you're just sewing along, not really paying attention, and your bobbin or your thread runs out, don't worry, you still can keep going. So I just cut it off to where it is, and I'm gonna fill my bobbin real quick. Okay, bobbin is filled, we're ready to get back at it. But now we have this big unfolded area. So all we really need to do, if you kind of pull it from both sides, pull it taut, it's gonna start to kind of fold itself. So I'm going to just keep folding it with my fingers and then pin it or clip it. This is where I love the clips, it's so thick. The pins kind of don't go through as well. And then just work all the way up to where my tube maker is. So I'm gonna go back to where I had stopped. I'm gonna go back a little bit farther than that and do a back stitch just to help secure it. Now, if you're doing a decorative stitch or a serpentine, back stitching back over can get a little bit tricky, whereas you can kind of sew a little bit on a scrap piece of fabric to get it like to the side or the curve where you need it. This is where it makes it kind of nice and easy to do just the straight stitch, because you know right where it's at. So here's where it ended. I'm going to go back maybe 2 inches. I'm going to back stitch 3 stitches, and then I'm just going to keep going. And now we're caught back up. Another tip to show you, when I get to the spot where I have the seam from where my 2 strips are joined, I want to make sure that the seams are open, especially if you're doing a straight seam like this. That way it's not all of the bulk on one side. That's what's going to cause lumps in your rug. If you're doing a diagonal seam, you don't have to worry about that as much, because once it's folded, the seam is going to spread across more areas, not just going to be in one spot. So just make sure when you get to your straight seams that you're then opening them, and the batting helps to kind of keep them flat so it's not going to get caught in your tube maker.